So what are we doing?
We are creating our vision board for our journey to Barren to Bountiful, the very first steps.
Yeah, the first steps. So we're sitting down at our dining room table in our apartment in East Wenatchee, and we are trying to put down what we think we need to do to be able to take the first step.
Mm-hmm.
The first step is actually going smaller than what we are right now, into some sort of house. You're seeing our actual conversation. So we have different ideas. We've been tossing a lot of things around, whether we're going to rent a smaller place, whether we're going to buy a smaller place and fix it up, whether we're going to find a place that will let us use their land to practice farming and grow our own food, because we don't know anything. And so we're going to do these vision boards, dream boards, checklist, whatever it turns out to be, and just let you look over our shoulders as we brainstorm the first step to get into a place where we can learn how to build our own things and grow our own things. So we're going from barren to bountiful, literally, and hopefully as well. We really trust that's where we're going, and we want to take you along. So enjoy.
Here we go.
Saw us make this board, B2B, Barren to Bountiful. That's kind of the name that God's laid on our hearts, that we are, explains what we're doing and where we're going, and explains the hope that we have. And so here is our 7 steps to get to our first real step in our 5-year plan of landing in a homestead somewhere.
Yeah, this is probably one of many vision boards we will have, but this is the very first one.
Yeah, so vision boards, targets, all kinds of stuff that these are going to be. So what we've got is, like I said, barren to bountiful. And we wrote queso. I wrote that underneath of there because every time someone says, okay, so we respond queso. So you'll hear that from us regularly.
Inside joke.
Inside, outside joke. Starting with number 1, explore our options. Meet with a financial advisor, meet with a realtor. We want to do that in the month of June. We want to find out what it is that we can actually do, what can we afford, and what is in the area that's going to meet our needs. Like we said, we don't know if that means buying a house, which we would really like to buy a house that we can fix up, practice our skills, plant in the yard, and go from there. But we might not be able to do that in our area for the price that we want to spend, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Number 2, make the 5-year budget. This is the way we pay off our debt and save the money for our homestead. We're going to set that up in June and July. Like I said, this is all for step 1 that's leading towards that homestead that we want to be in 5 years. And so we're going to make a 5-year budget that's going to leave us hopefully debt-free or as close to it as possible, with some secondary incomes coming in through the different things that we're going to do over the next couple of years. Number 3, research, and research some more. Jana loves a good plan with all of the info. She wants to know the details behind the details for the next thing that we're going to do before we do it.
Yep.
So we will do a lot of research, which is good because we don't know anything anyways. So this is an opportunity for us to learn how to be stewards, for us to learn how to take care of the things God has given us to take care of, and how we can grow in a lot of different ways that we've neglected for a long time. That means we'll be healthier. That means we'll be happier. We'll grow as we do what it is that God's designed us to do. We actually said the date for this one is forever. Forever. Because we know we're never going to stop learning.
And we hope you know what movie that is from.
Yeah, we're going to quote a lot of movies. We will probably quote The Office. We will probably quote...
Not Jody Bray.
Yeah. It's already on the blog. Resources, number 4. This could be you, honestly. There are people out there who know so much more than we know, who have already gone from their homes to the homestead. They have worked hard and sacrificed and made the steps. And we've been inspired by watching some of your videos. So we may be reaching out to you individually. And if you get this and we haven't reached out to you, you can reach out to us because we want to know what you know. We don't want to make the mistakes that you have made inevitably, and we want to take advantage of people who have gone down that path. We don't have to carve a new one where we don't need to. And so this is where we want to find out what others have done. That's going to be ongoing. We know this is a life of learning when it comes to taking care of what God has put us in, this beautiful creation. Number 5, downsize from big cash spending down to little cash spending. Spend less and save more by November. We don't actually spend that much. We're not very frivolous spenders. We enjoy nice things. We like to go out and do a nice thing occasionally, but mostly we don't spend a ton of money. This is going to be more really dialing it in, getting rid of the things that are unnecessary extras that we might have. And so
so we pay a pretty good penny for our apartment that we're in right now, and it's very comfortable, and we'll give you a tour later, but we don't need to be spending that much money on an apartment where there's no equity, we're not investing or anything. We're just kind of throwing away our money for it. So that's part of the big downsizing.
There's no yard. There's nothing here for us to even get ready to go forward to the next step. So we're spending more than we need to, and we're not getting what we need out of it. So we're going to spend less to save more, and that saving's going to come in a lot of different ways, which leads to number 6, buy or lease our new to us place. And we want a place with a yard. We want a garage or shed. We want it to be here in Wenatchee. That's where we live. We live in East Wenatchee on the Washington State. We live on the side of the river that is cheaper, but we would be happy to move into Wenatchee City where I work and Jana works as a real estate agent.
Sort of.
What?
Sort of.
Yeah, sorry. It's not a real estate agent. She's actually a property manager. So she takes care of rental properties for a real estate company. And I work in a hospital doing inventory stuff. So we can move closer and be on the other side of the river. That would be okay. We also want our monthly payment to be between $800 and $1,000. If we got it down to $800, it would save us almost $600 a month. And that would be money we would use to pay off our debt. That would be money we would use to invest in infrastructure going forward. And that would be what we would be able to remodel whatever we move into and then put into the down payment or paying off whatever it is we move into. So number 7 would be the move. And again, this is a move again for us. It's move number 8, which will hopefully lead to move number 9.
Yeah,
so
last one.
We've been married for 14 years, and we moved into our first apartment on Broadway right away, and then from Broadway, Spokane Valley, we moved from there to another place in the valley. From Spokane Valley, we moved in with her mom for a short period of time to get ready to move to Louisville, Kentucky, where I pursued a master's at the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. From there, we moved again in Louisville to a little better place because we were in a little shotgun apartment. From there, we moved to an associate pastor position in Indianapolis, Indiana, just south of Indianapolis. And then from there, we moved to East Wenatchee to be close to her mom and her sister and nieces and nephews. My family lives in Spokane, Washington, just a couple of hours east. So we've done a lot of moves. So we're moving again, and again at least, to get to where we feel like we're led to be. All of this is for this big reason, and I've said it a couple of times, but it's to glorify God by being good stewards. That's what we want. God's laid it on our hearts. He created us to be a certain way, and we have done a lot of good. We have done a lot that way. And like I said, we've been married for 14 years. We've really been seeking to serve the Lord and grow in godliness and Christ-likeness over the last 8 or 9 years, really. And that led us to Louisville, and we met great people, and then we made it back here. And so now we have this really tangible understanding of how stewardship is also part of how we deal with creation. We love the Northwest, and we love, you're meeting Jackie Chan. This is our kitty, Jackie Chan, and he is part of the family. He's been around since before me. So he's 16 years old, we discovered the other day, and he's a sweet dude. But this big idea, that stewardship of God's creation, people are happier. We are happier when we're outside. We're happier when we are working with our hands and doing things that God created us to do. And that's what we want to do. So, guys, that's our dream board, our first step. And it's a little bit of an introduction to who we are.